Well, I'm running for re-election because I really have believed that the American system of democracy is really the best in the world. And it's been that way for more than 200 years, but the way that we stay as the best in the world is we have to have people serving in government who recognize that government is imperfect, but if we don't work to make it better, then our society is going to suffer. And so we need people who really are committed not only to working together, but to make American democracy in Alaska work better. And that means investing and putting the time and energy to make a difference. I do support using permanent fund earnings. That was a critical bill that we passed in the last 2 years, Senate Bill 26, which took an endowment structure to the permanent fund that really made it possible to both continue to pay dividends into the future and support state government so that we actually, again, can make government work better and work better for all Alaskans. And it's the part of a responsible action plan to address our financial challenges. Well, the analysis that we've seen, and it really economically, it's at pretty much every level, that when you don't need to be a PhD economist to say we've got to have new revenue to really have a responsible action plan for Alaska that moves the state forward into the future. And there are really 3 areas of new revenue that we talk about. We talk about redoing the oil and gas tax structure. We talk about income tax, and we talk about sales tax. And all 3 of those are reasonable options, but the real question becomes, how can the legislature come together with the support of Alaskans to recognize moving forward this is what we need to do? There were proposals for all 3 that are getting discussed, and again, it's all about coming together and developing a sense of what will serve Alaska best. You know, what I really want to see is one that brings people together and doesn't divide the state. People have said, would you prefer an income tax to a sales tax to changing oil taxes? And I don't really have a personal preference. I really want to see one that Alaskans can really get behind. I can give you 5 good reasons for an income tax. I can give you 5 good reasons for a sales tax. I can give you 5 good reasons for changing oil taxes, but unless it really brings Alaskans together, it's going to divide us rather than bring us together. And I really think the first priority is where can we get consensus and strong support through a large percentage of the legislature. That's the solution that I think Alaskans want. Well, the 2 most important things that we have to do for crime is we have to work every day to improve public safety. And we have to make wise use of our public safety resources. One of the representatives that I work with a lot on the crime bill that just passed last year is Representative Chuck Kopp, and what Representative Kopp likes to say, and I agree with him, stopping crime is not going to be solved with a bumper sticker slogan. It takes every day, it takes work every day, it means looking for solutions. What we were seeing going on in Alaska was we were spending more and more, particularly in corrections. We were seeing our prison population grow at 3 times the rate of our population. And at that same time, crime was going up, long before we started the justice reform efforts. And the justice reform efforts recognized that we needed to get better value for our public safety dollars. We needed to make sure we had the resources for incarceration and putting the most dangerous criminals in jail, and also start having resources that would address the drug abuse and the alcohol abuse that is a problem throughout our society, and it's an issue in Alaska. We needed to have more resources go towards rehabilitation to help the very people who have problems that manifest themselves by criminal behavior, but also have abuse problems that if we don't address the abuse, they're only going to keep committing more crimes, and we're not going to improve public safety. So we have to make better use of the public resources, incarceration for the most dangerous, try to get treatment for those that really have addiction issues, that if we can solve those addiction issues, then we won't have so much crime. Well, both in my work as House Judiciary Chair and on the Criminal Justice Commission, we've actually been looking at those. And so the whole process that we've been going through in justice reform has been doing just that, how to maximize incarceration for the most dangerous and rehabilitation for those that should have an opportunity for treatment. I think that the two things the voters are most concerned about is, first, they really want a responsible action plan for Alaska. They want a financial plan that addresses Alaskans' need and does it fairly, to have sound budgeting and sound state management for the future. And the second area is they really want us to improve public safety every day and work to make wise use of our public safety resources.